All right, I'll try not to say your
I have a bleep button for a reason.
Oh, awesome. All right.
Check.
All right. We are in Knoxville at Big Ears 2026. Got Ryan Clackner back with us in his hometown as of now. I don't know. It's not your birthplace, obviously.
The current hometown.
Home of choice.
Yeah, so I was thinking we just kind of go down all the shows we saw and just talk about it.
Yeah. Thursday, I saw Dither guitar quartet, and I was at a church. It's pretty sweet. Our buddy Josh Lopes was playing in that band, and he's got 3 guitar players. I'm not going to pretend to know their last names, but Taylor, Brendan, and James. And they played a bunch of rhythmic stuff, a bunch of really dense tonal stuff.
Is that the same band that he was saying that the Brendan guy is the one that's in Scarcity?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the guys in the band play all sorts of different music, but this is like I guess you can call it new music ensemble. But
Right.
hearing that stuff in a church, I've never heard 4 amplified guitars in a church before, and it was a huge space, so that was awesome.
Which one was it at? The Point?
I want to say St. John's, but that's probably the wrong
No,
name.
that's it. St. John's Episcopal.
Yeah,
Next to the cemetery?
it was huge, gigantic.
Right off Gay Street.
Yeah. And it was just a wall of sound in a church with 4 amps, and they all had pedals, and it was pretty wild. So
Cool.
It was pretty sweet. After that, we saw you.
Me.
It was terrible.
It's me.
Sucked.
It was the worst show
fucking
the whole
awful.
week. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, you with Tyshawn Sorey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one for the ages, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was a reunion that should have happened 20 years ago, but
I'm actually kind of glad that it didn't. I'm glad it took as long as it did.
why is that?
It germinated long enough, and I covered the ground that I needed to in leaving the Northeast and coming here, and he did his thing, obviously, and we maintained friendship and talked occasionally over the years and whatever, but just because you're pals with somebody doesn't mean that you're gonna have a musical connection that lasts that long. Like, that's a long 20 years is a long time. That's people change a lot, and anyone will change over 20 years,
Yeah, it's true.
and we obviously that we were friends in high school and did Oblique together, and Oblique was his first band, and I played guitar. If I remember right, Carlo DeRosa was.
Yep.
Am I saying his name right?
Yeah, Carlo DeRosa.
Was, I believe, the first bass player. Lauren Stillman played in it.
And Carl McGuire, right?
Carl McGuire played. I think he played piano on most of the shows. I know that. I want to say Jacob Sachs did 1 or 2, and Steve Lehman did 1 or 2, but they weren't regulars in that band.
And that was like Ty's first.
That was his first thing that he was doing. That was all his compositions. That happened
2003?
Yeah, it was like after Blood Sutra came out, but not that long after, and I think it was before he started working with Dave Douglas. So it was
Right, yeah.
somewhere in between those things, and we played in Brooklyn a lot. Intense, definitely very challenging charts. I thought it was challenging anyway, and
Most humans would.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that 20 years after doing that you're going to just have a good time playing free for an hour. Like that's not, there's no guarantee about anything like that whatsoever. Like that's so, I thought, I think it was kind of bold for both of us to be like, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. And
so there were doubts. Sorry to interrupt, but it sounds like you had some, I don't want to say doubts. That's probably a shitty word.
I don't doubt. It's not that I doubted myself or Tyshawn at all, but it was more just like,
what is this?
Well, it's just a little, maybe a little cowboyish to just say we haven't played together in 20 years and we're going to go and just assume that there's not going to be any moments of hesitation or whatever. So many people try to play free that can play jazz or can play this or that or whatever, and you can feel it when people are looking. It's just like a conversation. You go on a fucking coffee date with somebody and you're looking for something to talk about. You both know you're looking for something to talk about, and anyone with a good eye in the room could like look at you two and be like, oh, they're not really having that much fun. And
Right.
So
I mean, from our perspective in the audience, you guys have had a blast. So
Yeah.
So I mean, like we did the sound check, got the guitar done and did the drums, and they were like, okay, play. We'll check the front of house levels off of your improv now. And I mean, within 10 seconds, I was like, oh, this is like the best thing in the world. That's
awesome.
This is like, oh, this is going to be the easiest hour and change of my life.
Yeah, it looked pretty easy.
This is easier than walking down the damn street,
Not easy to play, but easy to fit in with each other.
No, it was fucking easy. I know, it was easy.
He makes it easy.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He made it all very easy, and it flowed easily, and I liked where the energy was at. I didn't have to lead him. He didn't have to lead me. We just played together. We played like it was playing. There's a thing where sometimes in any of the extreme musics that are out there, and I kind of like have found myself in a lot of them. There's cross tendency of taking things too seriously, and then the people who get annoyed by that refuse to take it seriously, but they still are in the take it too seriously category. Mm-hmm. They're just like trying to be cute and ironic about it, all of which negates the whole fucking point of playing music. Like play, like have fun, you idiot. Like,
it's supposed to be
like
fun.
Why did any of us ever start on this idiotic path in the first place? Like we're all like 40 and up and still playing music. Like that's reason enough to not take yourself like too seriously, all things considered. Like, it's hard to make a living. It's hard to there's a lot to juggle in playing music as an actual adult. It's actually hard. It's hard to play music. So
yeah. You guys made it look easy, that's for sure.
To do the sound check and it go right into just like, oh yeah, this is flowing. Like just, that was the best.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, I've been looking forward to see it that for 20 years, but I understand why the delay might have made it even better. So I know you had some specific thoughts, Lindsay.
I did. I'm on Dolphy duty, Dolphy puppy duty. I think the thing that impressed me the most about your set with Tyshawn is if you looked at it from a surface level and you say you didn't know you guys very well, but you knew your names, you knew that you're both like stellar musicians, to say the least. There's a tendency when two amazing musicians get together to have a lot of ego involved and just like I don't want to say outdo each other, but just let the ego get involved and just be like, oh, look at me, I'm a badass. Look at us, we're badass.
Like overplaying almost.
Overplaying, yeah. And sometimes when you see those kind of gigs, it's like they're just masturbating next to each other.
Yeah.
And it's not very musical. It's not a conversation. And this was more of a conversation. It's like you're having a moment with someone.
Right.
And you're connecting. It's more of a conversation. It sounds so cheesy, but just the musicality, I really felt it with you guys. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to jump out on Dolphy duty and let you guys take over this conversation because someone's eating a curtain in our Airbnb. So I'll sign off on that.
Yeah, before we move on to other shows, do you have any other thoughts on your set? Or, I mean, I thought it was a grand success personally.
The one thing, well, there is one funny thing. It was like, okay, you know, normally in any given band, there's one person that's like the most aggressive player, and then the ones that are less so. And this was the kind of thing where we both were like, okay, like we know we're always the ones that are going to be the most nuclear in it, like in any given situation.
Band. Yeah.
So we did say to each other, okay, when it gets like up here, we'll let it stay there, but we do probably want to make sure it doesn't just go there and like just stay there for an hour. And we both just kind of laughed because I could see us both just thinking like, oh, it could so easily just go there and stay there for the entire thing.
Which I probably would have enjoyed, but it might not have been the most musical thing. Yeah, well, I get it.
We didn't even talk about making it musical. He just said.
Well, that's kind of implied, right?
I said let's try to at least try to not stay on the nuclear path for an hour. And he said, okay. Also, I do want to stop once or twice. And I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if Tyshawn, I'm jumping ahead in the set order, but he played duo with Roscoe also. And
he did, yeah.
I don't think they stopped.
I don't think they stopped at all.
Yeah,
no.
I don't think they did. There was a lot of varying instrumentation, and there was a lot more varied dynamics as well in that set. Mm-hmm. So it was almost like natural pauses were built into it. Played bass saxophone and soprano saxophone and percussion. He wore a really nice suit and hat.
I think he was probably the sharpest dressed man at Big Ears this
by
year,
far.
I'd say.
Yeah, it was awesome. Looked very classy. What else did we see? We saw Tim Byrne. We saw Patricia Brennan's band. I mean, that one for me was particularly impressive.
Yeah, that was great. Kim and Mark Shim on top of it was just like, man, this is fucking incredible.
Yeah. I mean, the entire band was like super impressive, killer. But Kim drove the rhythm section super hard. I thought the horns were probably too loud in the mix, but they still sounded fantastic. I mean, that venue is a really cool space to play in, I bet. The sound was okay. I wouldn't say it was incredible, but yeah. I think we saw, 3 bands play at Jackson Terminal?
I actually saw Tyshawn play there last year. I think it was the longest I've ever watched Tyshawn play anything backbeat-ish.
He could do that really well.
Oh, it was incredible. I had no. Yeah, I was like, oh wow, it's totally
he
different than what I'm used to seeing him do.
I saw Darius Jones last night, which was I hadn't seen Darius in I think 19 years. I did a double bill with his band when I was in the Bjorkestra in a loft in Brooklyn, and there was Gerald Cleaver on drums and Chris Lightcap on bass, and that band was wild. Gerald was like hitting real hard and playing some nice like real hard drums. Darius was just like singing over the top of it, and yeah, that was nice. And that was at the Black Box. And then after that, Lindsay, what did you see while I was seeing that?
I wasn't planning on going to see Nate Smith's trio with Tim LaFave and Jason Lindner, and I'm so glad I saw it because it was one of my favorite shows I saw. Apparently they haven't recorded together as that trio. Like they've been sidemen in other projects with like Chris Potter. It was kind of, in a way, like when you look and see like the whole crowd like jamming out, sometimes it can seem kind of corny, but it felt really good and it was just sick. Like they would just drop beats on purpose and then just come in and
I don't know if you could stand there listening to those three guys and not move your head a little bit.
Like and so Jason good. Lindner would just he was playing synth, crazy sounds, and you would just take it like so out, and you'd just be like, what the like it would sound like French sirens and stuff, like just weird, crazy shit. And I really didn't want to leave.
But we had to leave because Masada was playing.
Yeah, you couldn't miss Masada.
How was Masada?
Oh, it was wild. Joey Barron, for me, stole the whole thing. I mean, they all are fantastic, and they're all spectacular musicians, but Joey Barron was just playing his ass off, playing so hard on the drums. Mm-hmm. And the sound was okay in that theater. Bijou, have you been there?
Oh, Bijou, that's definitely my favorite venue in town.
Yeah, the horns were pretty loud, and the bass took a couple tunes to get the right level, but the drums sounded fantastic in that room, and the band. I mean, that band's been together since the early '80s or mid '80s or whatever. So, yeah. Probably one of my favorites on the weekend. We saw Matt Mitchell today.
Oh, that was incredible.
Yeah, I mean every band Mitchell's in, I just have to stare at his hands the whole time. But
yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah, I mean he's the man. Good dude too. Funny dude. He was just cracking like the most dry jokes the whole time too.
Super dad style.
Yeah, it was great. And Tordini was playing bass, who's another buddy of ours, and
so heavy,
the most solid guy.
Yeah, it's so heavy.
You can't phase Chris. You could turn the music upside down and sideways in front of him on the stand, and he would just keep playing every note perfectly and not even flinch.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, so that band was super cool. That album is also one of my favorite Mitchell albums. They played the Zealous Angles album. So what else did we see? I wanted to see Cobra. We didn't get there. I wanted to see Karen Mantler because she's crazy, and I didn't get there. Yeah, we saw Chris Steele today. Lindsay, why don't you say something? Well, I'll just say I've never seen Chris Steele before. I know he's a virtuoso, like he's a freak on the mandolin. And he was playing Bach, and I thought he really played the Bach well. I thought all the other stuff was a little corny, in my opinion, but he kind of told a lot of jokes. There was some audience participation, and he wore a brown suit with baby blue shoes, which was just weird, but he's a spectacular mandolin player.
Yeah. where do I start with Chris Steele? I've been into him since high school. So like he was in this band Nickel Creek for years.
Right.
So I was a huge fan of Nickel Creek. I saw him play with Nickel Creek. At one point, Alan turned around to me and said, "What is this, a stand-up routine?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. Like you know what he is? He's like an old school showman.
Right.
And I think to his credit, like if he just went up there and played Bach for an hour and 15 minutes straight, like that's kind of rough on most people, you know, and there's a lot of quote unquote normies at this event. And there's a lot of people, and he lives in Nashville, I think, or he did for a while.
Well, I think he's just running it like it's a bluegrass gig.
Yeah, exactly. And his name draws a lot of those type of people out. So if he was just a straight up play Bach the whole time, I think it would
bluegrass, jamgrass, whatever.
Yeah,
anything in that, and it's definitely more of like a feel good world comparatively.
Yeah.
Than like the depths of the contemporary avant-garde out of New York City or Europe.
Yeah, it was totally different, and I kind of knew that going into it, but Alan had never seen him before.
He'd almost be like an American version of the world music part of Big Ears. Like I have friends here that played the Gladsons, that played at Jig and Reel, like before I did the thing with Tyshawn, and they're a bluegrass family band.
Oh,
that
never heard of.
That's like the American version of the Pakistani bands that we're playing here this weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a funny comparison.
Folk playing the folk music.
Yeah, I mean, it was
kind of coming out of that, but he's like in that upper echelon of bluegrass people where they're like, you know, super proficient in classical music as well, and
he's
like
scary. He's a beast.
They're like not really jazz guys either. They're in this kind of acoustic savant.
I was surprised how many dissonant notes and chords he played too. Like he really gets around and mixes it up with the harmony.
That album with Meldau recently, like
Juliana and Meldau.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
With Mark?
So,
cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was just a little. It was like I think that was the most different show we've seen.
Probably,
we saw.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I appreciated. Alan thought it was kind of ridiculous, but he did this like game show section where he asked basically someone in the crowd, like at group audience participation, and had them name an obscure Radiohead song, and he had to just play it on the spot and get the lyrics, and he did good. It was not Tom York, but it was Chris Steele being Tom York. So it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Cool.
But yeah, it was the most mainstream thing we saw. Let's put it that way.
Right.
But I'm glad we saw it. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. Was Pino Palladino. That was something. I'm gonna move over. Hi. What's up?
Hey.
I was really excited about Pino Palladino because I've never seen him play before. He's one of my favorite bass players ever. And Chris Dave and Pino were ridiculous together. So it was pretty smooth, but when smooth stuff is done right, it's still really fucking good music.
Good music's good music.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I really had.
Did you see any other shows, Ryan?
Yes, I saw this band called Lazy Horse that I had never heard of until the day before.
Oh, was that the theater you took me to for like 2
seconds?
Yeah.
We went to it for a minute. Yeah. I thought that was really cool. That was at the Point, which is another church. I just thought that was really cool. I thought that was a cool band concept, and
I only stayed for maybe 5 or 10 minutes because I wanted to catch another show. But I thought the acoustic bass sounded nice and the drums were cool.
I have another group called Nui Scientia with a couple local guys, David Klein and Paul Saguna, and we actually played the Pilot Light has a whole separate festival called What For? We did a 30-minute set yesterday, and it kind of reminded me of a similar vibe where there's, I wouldn't call it metal, but it's like it's definitely dark music, and it's like a lot of open and dissonant things with upright acoustic bass. And it also reminded me a little bit of some of the stuff we do with Existential Dread with Hunter that you guys met, Hunter Deacon, great drummer.
Yeah, we got to hang with him this weekend too.
And then I saw John Mylander's Forecast yesterday, who's a buddy from Nashville, actually, that I met through Kevin, and has Mark Rodabaugh on drums. I didn't know the other guys, Mark, that plays some of the aforementioned improv gigs in Nashville. Mark plays with Sierra Hull, and just killer drummer, and Mylander plays with Bruce Hornsby.
Random.
And Forecast is his band. It's a bigger ensemble. It was cool. It was really nice.
I gotta say, you've been talking about the Pilot Light for, I feel like, years now, and it was really cool to finally experience that venue and get the vibe of that place.
That place is great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
it reminds me of a Brooklyn venue, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's like by far the weirdest fucking place in town, and all the cool weird people hang out there, and it's fun, and you can watch anything that's a little bit off the beaten path. We'll have a home there, and I just think I think that place is great. I've always liked it since I first started going over there.
It reminds me of the spot Goodbye Blue Monday that you actually played with me twice there, like 2007. You
Where
probably
was
don't
that?
remember.
Fucking Williamsburg or something?
Broadway and in Bushwick, yeah.
Yeah. You're right, I don't remember it. That's probably, I feel like I remember doing one gig with you right before I left, and
this was actually 2 years in a row. You came up to see your parents in Jersey for Christmas, and you did gigs there with me and Pascal.
Okay.
But this was a long time ago.
Still a while ago.
Thought the bass player was awesome. He was playing real hard with the bow.
David, man, we started playing together like a year ago, and he had played a lot of the Monday night improv things that we do, and did more of them on electric bass. And Paul played in a bunch of bands that were more like proggy kind of things, and then did some improvised stuff. We got tossed together to do a Monday night improv thing, because that's how they work a lot of the time. They're not really gigs. Like, somebody just says, "Will you play with so and so on such and such date?" And
yeah, we've done
and
shows like that in New York.
Just jam, basically, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, that'd be great. I didn't know what to expect, but we all clicked like right away. And it's funny, David is a theology professor here at UT.
Wow.
And so right away we were just like playing around with like, how do we make this like improvised music as non-lyric improvised music? How do we make this as satanic as humanly fucking possible? So that,
I think you guys got pretty close.
Well,
yeah.
And so I told him about this. Neither of them listen to black metal at all, and I told him, I was like, you need to listen to this band called Deathspell Omega, where they have a lot of the kind of time shifts all over the place, and has like the very dissonant, jangly chords. The guitar is not heavily distorted. It's not clean per se, but it's some of the more like unsettling music, dissonant and like energetically uncomfortable music that you're going to come across.
Mm-hmm.
And we also all really like the 80s King Crimson records, like Discipline.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like,
I've got a few of those on vinyl.
I was like, okay, that's what we're going to do. That we're going to be a band that improvises Deathspell and King Crimson.
Wow.
And we've just kind of just said, okay, that's how it's going to go. And so, like Paul will really, really build up into blasting, but it goes into the blasting, and then David has some really cool bowed shit that it leaves a lot of space, it leaves a lot of space for me to do whatever. And then I leave him space to kind of fill in that it's a non-standard bass role that he plays in that
non-standard.
thing,
Yeah.
And it leaves Paul.
He didn't play a bass line the whole time.
No, no, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. It's so fun.
Well, I don't think there's any more shows to talk about, and I think we talked about most of the venues, but we did hang out with Tyshawn on a rooftop one night.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun to just get to hang with him like that. Literally, I haven't just sat around and shot the shit with him in 20 fucking years.
It's been forever, yeah. Just old times, and he was staying at the embassy, so we met him at this rooftop bar, and we get up there, and they're looking at us a little funny, and then somebody notices there's a dress code, and none of us are even close.
I haven't changed my clothes since like last week.
Nice, yeah. And we ordered drinks, and the bartender's like, what's going on with these people? Then we go outside and sit out there for like 40, 50 minutes or something, and then the guy rushes out and turns off our
little fireplace thing.
It was like the cue to get out, basically.
Little gas fireplace.
Yeah.
Cut the gas on us.
Yeah, he just got rid of us, basically. But
yeah.
Anything else stand out from Big Ears, or is that pretty much it?
Oh, man. I mean, I loved the whole thing, but, it's going to be hard for me for the prime memory to not be just getting to play with Tyshawn again,
Right.
And
well, that was the highlight for me too.
That totally takes the cake of everything, just because it was such a personal thing for me that had been germinating for so long, and then for it to go so well and the music to just flow so naturally, and both of us just be very, very happy with it. He loved it. I loved it. That was just like the easiest. That was like the easiest hour of my life. Like
some people get intimidated playing with him, but whenever I play with him, it just feels easy because he makes it easy on everyone.
Well, I mean, there was a little bit of like, I haven't played with him in a while, so I wouldn't say I was intimidated, but not. You just don't know. It's like, that's a thing in life. You have to unknown, I've done what I can do on a personal level to try to become okay with not knowing what's going to happen. And that was just a thing where it's like, man, I'm glad that I'm kind of like actually fairly comfortable not knowing what the fuck is going on most of the time. I'm kind of, and it came in handy for sure.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, I'm really not overemphasizing this, that I knew within 5-10 max seconds in the sound check that I was like, oh, this is gonna be like the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And then I hadn't even turned the fucking distortion on at that point, and then because then I had to kind of check each pedal to make sure that the volume levels were smooth across the different distortion pedals and whatnot, and I was like, okay, I need you to go like as hard as you're gonna go at your hardest, so I can match the heavy gain pedal to that,
right. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, this is
gonna work.
This is fucking great.
Send it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it was such a success, and
thanks. I'm glad y'all got to come down and see it.
Oh yeah, how could we miss it?
Yep.
And till next year, Big Ears.
Hell yeah.
Yep. If you enjoyed this podcast, please visit birchgrove.io. It's the home base for our record label, Birch Grove Media. You can buy a vinyl record or a digital album and sign up for our newsletter, where you'll receive notifications about
future events and releases. Also visit podfuelmedia.com. I'm one of the owners of this company, and if you like how this podcast was produced, we do that for our clients: audio, video edits, syndication, consulting, and startup for a new podcast. So book a call with us and we'll get your podcast going right away. You can also go to buymeacoffee.com/birchgrovemedia and leave us a tip if you'd like. Thank you very much.